Hello students, welcome to the next lecture of the Viva question series of SQL and DBMS. So let's talk about some more questions into the series that are related to DBMS and SQL. What is the basic major difference between a DBMS and the RDBMS? As we know, the RDBMS is the relational database where the tables are stored, where the data is stored in the forms of tables and relations. So here the DBMS provides an organized way of managing, retrieving and storing from a collection of logically related information. On the other hand, the RDBMS provides the same, but it provides with the relational integrity. That means the data is stored into relations, into tables. Next question, explain the term database and DBMS and mention the different types of DBMS. So we have to explain what is database and what is database management system. So a software application which interacts with the database, applications and users to capture and analyze the required data. The data is stored in the database. So the two things, the data is stored into the database and the application software that is required to interact with this database and with the other applications and users is known as the DBMS, that is the database management system. So using the database management system, we can retrieve, delete and modify the data that is stored into the database based on client's requirement. What are the different types of databases management systems? So we have relational DBMS where the data is stored into the structured relations table format. We have hierarchical DBMS which uses the hierarchical structure in the same manner. Then we have the network database management system that supports many relation with multiple records, with all the records are linked together with some linking, some type of linking. The object oriented DBMS uses email individual softwares such as objects to store the piece of the data. Obviously this is different from the RDBMS where the data is stored into the relation form, into the table form, and here the data is stored into the object form. Next question, what are the advantages of the DBMS? So the major advantage of the DBMS is that we can store the data, we can retrieve the data, we can update, manipulate, fetch, search, and all the operations can be performed onto the database. So let's see what are the advantages. The one is the data independence, that allow the structure of the data without affecting the structure of any of the running application programs. Next is sharing of the data with multiple users can be performed with the help of the database simultaneously. Integrity constraints can be enforced onto the database. Then redundancy control is provided. Obviously this is the main feature of having a database in DBMS, that is redundancy control, and provides backup and recovery facilities to the applications and the users. Next question, mention the different languages that are present in DBMS. So the different languages present in the DBMS can be considered in four categories. Major are the three. So data definition language, that is DDL, data manipulation language, that is DML, and data control language, DCL, and lastly TCL, which is the transaction control language. Obviously the DDL defines the commands which are used to define the database. DML defines the commands which are used to manipulate the database. DCL is used to control the database and the user, its restrictions, and the TCL performs the transaction related operations, transaction related commands onto the database. For example, the triggering operations or the complete transaction management. Next is, what is query optimization? So query optimization is the phase which identifies a plan for evaluation of the query. It is simple like the expression evaluation. Here we have query in place of expression. So the expression evaluation or query evaluation, the plan which is applied for the query execution. So So this is into the least estimated cost with the least time. The phase comes into the picture when there are a lot of algorithms and methods to execute the same query, same task. The advantage of query optimization are as follows. The output is provided into the faster manner. A larger number of queries can be executed in less time and reduces the time and space complexity for the query execution. The next question, do we consider null values the same as that of blank spaces or zero? So the answer is no. We never consider null values as same that as of blank spaces and the zero. Here the null is something different. So the null value represents a value which is unavailable or unknown, or which is not assigned to the variable currently. So it is different from a blank space, because blank space is a character, 0 is also a character, that are the assigned values, but null value is unassigned value. The next question, what you understand by the aggregation and atomicity? So this is the feature of the ER model, aggregation, which allow a relationship set to participate in another relationship. And atomicity is related with the transaction, database transactions, which must be followed in each transaction, that each transaction is to be atomic. So this property states that a database modifications must either follow all the rules or nothing at all. Either the full transaction, the complete transactions would be executed, or not at all. So that's it for the today's lecture. We will study more questions. We will talk about more questions into the upcoming lectures. Thank you so much.